What's your dream? That was a question that one of my friends asked me several years ago. He said, Keith, what's your dream? At the time, I was on staff at a really large church north of Houston, and I was one of about 40 pastors on staff. It was a really big church that we had, 200-300 part and full-time staff members. We had multiple campuses. We were doing incredible work, and God was really moving in this church and in this ministry, and I was a part of it. But when that guy asked me, my friend asked me that question, Keith, what's your dream? I didn't have an answer. See, I was just kind of going through the motions. I was just kind of existing. See, somewhere along the way, I lost the passion and the purpose and the plan that God had for me. And I couldn't answer that question, what's your dream? And that bothered me. And I started thinking about that. I don't know if you've ever been there. I don't know if you've ever felt stuck. I kind of felt stuck. I mean, again, I was at a great church. We were doing great things, good things, but I was just kind of coasting along. I was stuck in neutral. I wasn't really going anywhere or doing anything, and I just felt stuck. I think one of the most often asked questions that I get over the years is this question: what's God's plan for me? What's God's will for me? What's God's dream, if you will, for me? I think we want to know those things. Now, we can debate whether or not we think that's a good question, or whether or not we think it's the right question, or maybe it's the right question asked the wrong way. There's been plenty of books and maybe some sermons and podcasts that discuss that. That's not what we're going to discuss tonight. But I want to talk to you a little bit about trying to figure out what the dream is and asking that question, because I think for most of us, we want an answer to that question. What's the dream? What's God's dream for me? What's the passion and the purpose and the plan that God has for me? Like when we're feeling stuck, whether or not we've actually pursued something passionately in the past, but maybe now we find ourselves kind of stuck or going through the motions or in a rut. Like how do we discover that? How do we push through where we are in the middle of this mundane and get through to the next place in our life? How do we get through that? How do we push past through that when we feel stuck?